problem is most people in the Dubai real estate market cannot differentiate between average, good, and great. I want to give you a few examples so that you'll be able to relate to them and perhaps make smarter decisions when you're buying properties in the Dubai real estate market. Hit the like, subscribe, and bell icon. If you want to work with us, there's a link somewhere below. Remember to make a comment if you agree, disagree, or you want to share your opinion. Here's the thing, guys, okay? When you're buying an average property, that average property is going to perform in an average way throughout its life cycle, which means the rent you're going to get is average. When you resell it, it's going to be average, capital gains, so on and so forth. Whereas the good and great properties are going to perform better. The difference between good and great can mean almost 500,000 dirhams, 500,000 dirhams over a 2 to 3 years period in terms of capital gain. Let me give you some real examples. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, okay? So I'm going to take you back like 4 or 5 years ago. We had one of our VIP clients going through our program step by step, okay? And we had identified a particular top developer selling an apartment in a very, very, very prime location in Dubai. And I still remember that the price was 1,650,000 dirhams. 1,650,000 dirhams. So I'm not going to get into the actual location and why this property was amazing, but just know that it ticked all the boxes, right? It was great location, great developer, great landmark amenities close by. It would work great for long-term or short-term rental, so on and so forth, and most likely have great resale value as well. The asking price was about 1.65 million dirhams. And the moment I explained this to the investor who was sitting internationally, he said, pull the trigger, let's buy it. And I said, look, just give me 1 second, because there's one key thing that I'm not super satisfied with, okay? Which is the pricing. So at that time, I looked at the pricing per square foot, okay? Pricing per square foot. The pricing per square foot in that area at that time, if I remember correctly, was 1,700 per square foot, okay? And this transaction, this steal of a deal, we were getting directly from the developer, so my job would have been very easy, was 2,300 per square foot, right? So almost about 600 per square foot higher. And my investor sitting abroad said, look, the deal's fine, I like it, let's deploy the capital, let's buy it. But what I was uncomfortable with is when in a certain area, the per square foot price was operating at 1,700, 1,800 per square foot, I was a little bit uncomfortable paying 2,300 per square foot. So I said, look, give me a couple of days, let my team see if we can find a little bit of a better transaction, a better deal. Anyways, lo and behold, team goes out, spends 2 days, and the team's able to find the similar apartment, except a couple of floors higher, same apartment, same building, same developer, couple of floors higher, total negotiated price 1.2 million dirhams. So we're saving 450,000 dirhams. Now, after handover, took the keys, property got rented, so on and so forth, the price has gone up and shot to 2.3 million, so on and so forth. But you've got to notice one thing. Even though had we bought at 1.65 million, it would have been a good deal, thumbs up. But the difference between a good deal and a great deal with 2 thumbs up is almost 500,000 dirhams. Okay? I'll give you another example. So this is example 1. Example 2, we're going 7 years ago. 7 years, 6 years, 6 to 7 years ago. We go in to buy a villa. Okay, look guys, just for your information, I keep the developer and the locations out of it for particular reason, because I don't want to identify the deals that we got, and I don't want to name main developers or these developers, because that's not the point of this video. The point of the video is to teach you the difference between good and great, okay? Just FYI. But when you're working with us, obviously you're privy to all this information. So let me give you a lowdown. This was a superb client of ours, of mine, they're VIP clients, been working with us for 10 years. We end up zeroing in on a great, amazing, massive villa at a certain price point. I think it was 7 million that they were asking. But this was 7 years ago, so it was a ready villa. You guys would love this kind of a transaction. And they were giving a 5-year payment plan on it, right? So you could pay like, out of the 7 million, you could pay 2 million dirhams, and then the rest was over 7 years or 6 years or 5 years payment plan. But now my buyer could actually make a higher down payment, and we were trying to negotiate price. This is what we did, okay? I think I stretched negotiations over 3 weeks. Okay, so again, this is not a negotiations video, so I'm not showing and explaining how I negotiated, but there are templates to be used. There are methodologies that we use in the Dubai market. When I negotiate, alhamdulillah, by God's grace, I always get a better deal for my clients, okay? If I can't, I can't, but 99% out of 100, I've always gotten a better deal for my clients. It could be price, terms, product, unit, views, so on and so forth, okay? What ends up happening is, prolonging this negotiation over 3 weeks, using the tips and tricks and the methodologies, we end up walking away with here's now the kicker, a 700,000 dirham discount. There is a video somewhere in my library that talks about this full case study, okay? We walk away with almost a 12% discount. It's unheard of. It doesn't happen all the time. We had to give some more payment and down payment, but we added a 1 year on the payment plan. So instead of 5, it became 6, or I think from 6 it became 7, something like that. And we saved 700,000 dirhams, which was almost 12 to 15% off the villa price, okay? Now this, you could talk about this from a negotiation perspective, but why this is a great deal is because sometimes just the pricing alone makes it absolutely great. That's the difference, because when you go back to the market to resell it, the prices have gone up. That 700,000 dirhams, that 500,000 dirhams is money in your pocket. And that's the difference between good, 1 thumbs up, good is 1 thumbs up, great is 2 thumbs up. A lot of times you're not able to identify the difference, but in the long term, it is very, very, very magnified. And that's a problem you need to be able to educate yourself to solve. Bye for now.